Nimoy, where's the intro music?
Well, Herman, I think this is what's called a cold open.
So we're just supposed to jump into the story before the title sequence has been shown? It'll confuse people.
Yup.
But are they supposed to know who we are and what our deal is?
I think the goal is that the cold open is sort of like a teaser for what's to come.
But the opening sequence gives me time to prepare my wacky antics for the episode.
Well, usually something outrageous happens, where a joke is executed. But instead of making it land, it just cuts to the intro sequence. For a comedic shock effect.
Well, I don't particularly feel like doing anything outrageous.
You know, me neither. I think I'm gonna drink my milk.
You have fun with that.
And Nimoy, full of lots of joy. They're really quite brazen with investigations. Nimoy is learning with his good right Herman. It's Herman and Nimoy.
Hey, Nimoy,
Yeah, Herman.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I found this box labeled Important Climate Change Stuff, Do Not Open, and,
So you left it where it was and now you have a question about something else?
Nah, I opened it, and leaves went everywhere.
Leaves?
Yeah, leaves. They were all pressed and labeled and everything, and they're all over the floor right now, but that's not important. What is important is my question for today. What can leaves tell us about climate change?
Well, Herman, let's take a look at one of those leaves.
Yeah, sure. There's one right here. Ha!
Well, Herman, this box is part of what's called a herbarium.
An herbarium.
What?
An herbarium. Like, an historic moment.
Herman, how is it that you know so much about some things and so little about others?
I contain multitudes.
You sure do, buddy. Okay, so an herbarium is a collection of plants that are pressed, dried, and labeled with important information.
Information like the science name, the real name, the date, and that sort of thing?
Exactly. Usually they'll have family, where the specimen was collected, and the name of the collector.
So this species is an Acer rubrum red maple, collected in September of 2019 on Saratoga Avenue by... That's not very helpful.
Well, historical records are rarely complete. The best herbarium samples will have a piece of woody tissue if the plant has it, and a flower or fruiting body.
We haven't always had the internet, or even accurate ways to do images, so historically, herbaria were the best way to showcase plant diversity.
Since the dawn of the internet era and better printing, however, the original role of herbariums...
Herbaria.
English isn't my first language, Herman. The original role of herbaria is now obsolete, but they're still important for other reasons, like measuring climate change.
Wait, but how?
Well, what's a plant made of?
Wood.
More broadly?
Water?
Let's go outside and look at a tree. Okay, I got my mittens, here we are.
Okay, if the tree were water, it'd probably be frozen solid, because it's very cold out here.
Yes, it is in fact negative 10 degrees out here.
Maybe minerals in the soil or something? That seems right. Okay, tell me.
Comes from the air.
The air?
Yeah, the air.
But air doesn't weigh in. Nemo, we talked about how you can't just go around and say upsetting things to people.
We'll
It
be right
ruins
back,
the
everybody.
Whole day. Hey, you. You wanna see something messed up? Come on with Elma. I'll show you something messed up. Oh yeah. By the way, this is Elma's world. Talk about plants and stuff today, yeah? That's neat. Anyway, look at this plant I found. Found this yam. They call it the Japanese mountain yam. Discorea japonica. Look what's messed up about this yam. You go to grate it. Yeah, you're grating it. It turns into slime. It's pretty messed up, huh? In the plant world, this is called mucilaginous. We need it raw. Don't taste like much. Anyway, this has been Elmo's world. I'll see you when I see you.
Okay, Herman, have we calmed down?
It ain't right. It ain't right, I tells ya.
Okay, instead of trees, let's focus on your leaf. What's the leaf made of?
Water.
But this leaf has been dried and it still has mass.
Chlorophyll. Chloroplasts. Anthocyanins.
Okay, now you're just listing plant words. Like the tree, the leaf gets its mass from the air.
But that still doesn't make any sense, because all air is nitrogen and oxygen and carbon dioxide and... Oh. Plants breathe carbon dioxide, don't they?
Yup, that's their whole thing.
And they take in the carbon dioxide and they photosynthesize, give off oxygen. Oh, okay, I see now that my tirade was immature. Please, continue.
So plants take in carbon dioxide through these little holes in their leaves called stomata. Stomata can be either open or closed. When they're open, CO2 can enter the leaves, but water in the leaf will also evaporate out, drying out the plant. If a leaf doesn't have enough stomata, it won't get enough carbon dioxide in, and it'll die. But if it has too many, all the water inside will evaporate out, and it'll still die. Leaves need a balance. If there's more CO2 in the air, plants won't need as many stomata.
Wait, but CO2 levels have been increasing since the Industrial Revolution in the 1880s.
So plants need fewer stomata. We can see this.
But where would you find decades-old plant samples meticulously labeled and dated? Oh, yeah, okay.
Now, stomata aren't big enough to just look at. You have to take a little sample, coat it in a thin layer of gold, and look at it under a scanning electron microscope. And we can see that older samples have more stomata than newer samples of the same species.
Well, this is pretty neat, Nimoy. I guess we should go reorganize those leaves. For the climate or whatever. You're trying to come up with a leaf pun, aren't you?
Yep, and it's not happening.
They asked Elmer to do word of the day. I wanted the word of the day to be mucilaginous. They told me the word of the day is stomata. You know what stomata are, it's them little holes a plant's got. Anyways, this has been word of the day. What are you still hanging around for? The product placement?
Today's show was brought to you by photosynthetic phytoplankton. They've asked me to read this short message to the audience. You're welcome for all the oxygen we produce, you ingrates. Bye!